Airmaster started back in 1886 with a man named Philip Deal, who invented a motor, and they had the first like a paddle fan that they had hanging from the ceiling, and he continued to make those products. And at some point in time, Singer, they purchased Deal, the fan company, and Singer did, and then after a while, all they really wanted was the motor, and they retained the name Deal. They didn't want to let that go. One of the products that they offered on there was called an Airmaster product. Therefore, the name Airmaster arrived, and it was sold originally to Hayes Albion in Jackson, and eventually it ended up in Bob Lezebnik as the owner. And then in 2010, I had an opportunity to purchase the company. So it's been in Jackson for well over 50 years or 60 years at Jackson as Airmaster Fan.
When a customer is looking for air movement or cooling, not air conditioning, just moving air for their employees or their operation, you don't have to go anywhere else. You come to Airmaster and we take care of you, soup to nuts.
The top of the line fan that we have, it's a cast aluminum propeller. And what it does is it holds the shape as the fan rotates. Quite often, an aluminum, just a flat aluminum propeller will just flatten out and allows the air to go out to the sides in those kind of directions. With this cast aluminum propeller, it holds it into a pattern that allows air to be out as much as 100 feet, where a competitive fan may be operating at 20 feet and feeling the same air that we're able to produce at 100 feet.
Oftentimes when we get a phone call, on the other end will be an end user who says, I have this 30-year-old attic fan and I need a new belt for it. And that always amazes me when I hear 30 years old and it's still working. And we still have parts for them, so I direct them directly to customer service and they can accommodate that customer. I think that's just fascinating when that sort of thing happens.
We sell only through wholesale distributors, but we do target towards particular markets. We have a product line that we target towards like the food industry. And with current things that are happening now with the requirement for washdown and all those type things, we have stainless steel products that we've introduced to the market that are really market leaders in that area.
We have premium fans. Our heavy-duty models are our premium fan, and they're guaranteed for 5 years. We have some fans that are guaranteed for 10 years. So we have quality, and that's what we're proud of, is the quality of our fans.
We test our panel fans and our cabinet fans, and barrel fans. We test all of them at the end of the line, make sure the motor's running, make sure it's not making any unusual noises that a fan shouldn't make. And we make sure that the product that we're selling in the catalog comes out like that when we finish the product on the end of the line.
Hi, and welcome to Airmaster Fan. My name is Ed Labs, and we're going to take a tour today of our manufacturing plant. Come on out this way. Okay, well, here's our plant. What I want to show you over my shoulder here is we expect a very hot summer, which is good for business. So what we have here is unspoken inventory. So this will be ready for shipment for our distribution partners throughout North America and also for our end users. At Airmaster Fan, we also private label brands for specific customers. So we have an area over here where we have some private labels on our product specific for our customer. And up through here we have some panel fans, a variety of different sizes. They're crated up. These are used for exhausting or bringing air into a building, a variety of shapes and sizes. These are built to order as well. Now on the shelves here, we've got a variety of manufacturing components. We stock everything that we assemble here. Up through here we have extra blades, belts, motor assemblies. Now the thing that separates Airmaster Fan is that we control the quality of our blade in the process here. So we totally control the quality of our blades. Through manufacturing, as our product comes off, when it's stamped out, we'll bring that blade over here to this area. What we'll do is we'll attach that blade to the spider. It'll also attach to a hub. And then from there, it's completed. It'll be put over here. And then it's tested for balancing. This is assembly, so we take the pre-stamped blade panel that's here, okay? We'll take that blade panel, we'll add it to, in essence, it'll get added to a spider. The blade will get put on with rivets, okay? It'll get riveted on, along with that hub, placed onto here, taken off, put over to inspection, where it's gonna be tested for balancing, which is right behind you. With this, we have an electronic balancer here, and what we're doing is we're checking each blade, which is something very unique for us. We're checking each blade to make sure that it's balanced. Obviously, people want balanced fans. It's going to be more efficient, more effective for them. But what we do is we test it to make sure that it's balanced. If it's not balanced, it'll get rejected back. If you can see on the panel, this one has a green light, so it's been approved. So it's good to go. She'll mark that, finish up her assembly work, put it over to the side. Okay, so our fan blade came through. We needed to put some weights on that fan blade to make it within balance. What I want to show you here is, if you take a look at the machine here, this will show if the fan blade goes out of balance, and the light weight of this dollar bill should take us out of balance. So I want to demonstrate that for you. And it did. It went from green to yellow. We have some finished fan blades behind us here. These are steel blades. Come on over this way, we'll go to some of our assembly area. As you can see, we have a variety of, again, those spider holders that are going to hold our fan blades, a variety of finished products. We just watched the steel blade get balanced. If you take a look at that blade in the middle there, that's our blade that goes to our heavy-duty commercial fan. Now that's a casted item, so if we have to balance that blade, we actually have to take material off that by grinding it off. You can see that we have a variety of different motors laying around here. We have some other assembly parts, some cages that are going to hold our fans. Come on up through here. Now, similar to the fans that we just saw, you can see some barrel fans behind me that we're in production on. They've already been painted. You've already seen our paint line, I believe. If not, we'll show it to you. But they've been powder coated, black. That's the look of our fan. And we're doing some assembly work back through here on our big barrel fans.
We're all customers, so we expect some level of quality in the products, and the manufacturers, we expect them to back up their products. And so we pride ourselves in doing just that. We don't expect you to take the product and then you're off on your own. We expect you to set up a partnership with us, and we want you to come back.
Yeah, Airmaster Fan, we're in a growth mode. We've added 2 new sales people. We are aggressively going out into the market. I'd like to see the products come back from China, back to the United States. We're prepared to do that because we contain all the tooling here to continue to make the products. So there is a lot of room for growth, for addition of employees and growing the business. And we're really expecting to be able to do that and to control it.
I think what makes the Airmaster Fan special is well, first of all, we focus on nothing but fans here, so we don't make anything but fans. And I think that's unique in a lot of industry these days. And it's the quality of our fans that make Airmaster such a good company and have a great reputation in the industry.
At Airmaster, we do not make the motors, but we do spend a lot of time matching the motor to a propeller, usually one that we're making, and we're matching that thing together to make it have high quality product that's whatever people are willing to pay for. We have a low-end fan that can be like anyone else's fan. It doesn't have to hold the air, therefore we don't need as big a motor. We don't need the same kind of performance that we're getting. And a lot of those people are buying just price. And the price products we have, we can be very competitive. And then we have the upper end fans that people who care about long-term situations are actually buying our top of the end fans.
We have a ventilation line where we move air. We pop the fans in the wall of a manufacturing facility or a warehouse, and these fans will move air. You don't want to stand too close to them because you'll either get blown away or sucked into them with the power that some of them sound like a jet airplane prop going off. So they're very, they move a lot of air very quickly.
Here I am standing in front of one of our heavy-duty fans that I was just talking about. And to demonstrate for you, it's kind of hard to demonstrate, but the fan is actually on and it is moving air. Now I can hold this piece of paper up like this and you can see the fan and it's hardly moving. But if I move the paper over, you can see that the paper begins to move. And the reason it's moving is because I'm out of the airstream here. I'm in the airstream just one arm length away, and it's starting to blow almost out of my hand because it's cupped and it's actually forming it and keeping it in line as compared to what I was talking about with an inexpensive fan that would be blowing it over here. And as you begin to walk further down towards, I can keep the paper out of the fan. I can move the fan, the paper over, and it begins to move again because it's only in a very defined pattern of air movement. So when we talk about something being the very best fan in the market, this is exactly how we can demonstrate that to you.
Now the next spot that I'm showing you up here in our tour behind me, you'll see that we have some of our ventilation, bigger ventilation fans. These are already pre-built, ready for assembly. So in other words, these are frames that we're going to show you up here. You see that we're doing some assembly work in here. These are frames. You can see that these have already been painted, but there's a spot for our motor mount to attach. We do all that work in-house right here at Airmaster in Jackson. Well, if you can see over my shoulder here, we've got some finished items that have already been welded. They're waiting to be painted. And over to the other side over here, once it goes through our powder coat paint line, goes through the system, and gets baked down and cured, then this is what the finished product will look like, ready for assembly. So we would add back, obviously, our fan blades, which are through the assembly area here. Variety of different shapes and sizes, specific to what the customer is looking for their plant needs. Prior to, this is a staging area that goes into the welding area. So these are some Venturis that are waiting to be welded. They've already been processed. We'll see some of that in a few minutes as well, but they're waiting to go into and they're being staged into the welding area. We buy a variety of sheet steel and sheet aluminum as well, and we buy that locally. We have a local supplier here from Alro. Benefit for us is it reduces our costs because we're not spending as much for freight, and it also helps support the local community. So we'll take this sheet steel, we bring the steel over here, it gets cut, it gets punched, holes get added, which you'll see in the manufacturing process, and obviously holes for pieces that we can attach a motor mount to, or if you look over my corner over here, these are handles that get applied to some of our barrel fans. So it'll automatically punch holes into that, take that shape to it. It also is going to put in, on our barrel fans, it's going to put in ridges. The steel is very, very flexible. We put ridges into there so that it gives it more rigidity, more stability when we go to close that circle off and to weld it. And I'll show you over here what we do in that process. Again, we're gonna plug in some of these ridges to give that sheet steel that again is flimsy, flexible. It's going to give it some rigidity. You can see that we have some of these that are being staged in as well, waiting to be finished and welded, and then they'll get sent over to paint. We have a full tool room. We do all of our own work on our dies and our tools. So we have that capacity here as well. We can do all of our own work. So that's our tool shop. We're batching out some panels, and again, we're punching in some holes. You can see over my shoulder here. And what he's doing is he's actually taking that formed flat steel that already has a hole punched to it, and he's putting a bend into it. It ties into what we looked at earlier with those Venturi fans.
The fan industry is an extremely mature industry. There aren't too many new markets in the domestic states, so we're always looking for opportunities anywhere, any place. So one of the big things again is that our image out in the marketplace is one of high quality and high level of service. Whatever you want, that's what you get.
We have a certified lab here, and we are able to test our own products before we put those out. The lab itself, AMCA requires they do a random check, and they'll grab a product from us, ask us to submit it. Our performance has to be within 5% of our catalog, what we're saying it is. So we are what we say we are.
Whether it's domestic, foreign, import, whatever, we prefer to build the product here in Jackson, Michigan.
And what we have behind me, we have a variety of sizes in bar stock. We use this bar stock for our shafts, for our fans, for the belt-driven fans as well. That's where we saw earlier how that fan had a hub to it when we went to test it. This is the bar stock that goes into that hub that makes that fan spin and ties it to the motor. So some of the bar stock we have over here, again, we get that from a local supplier. So we support the community locally. Now we can also cut steel. For instance, we can take a piece of steel here, we can cut a circle on the inside of it, like we saw those larger fan hubs. Cut that circle. This is actually done with flame, so it gets quite hot over here, but it'll cut that circle out, and then we'll go ahead and finish it. And as you can see, this is one of our suppliers. We get the fan steel we buy locally from Alro. Great company, and we support the community. These are some of our custom tools that we use for cutting out fan blades, openings, sheet steel. You can see we've got quite a few different tools here, and they are extremely heavy. We have a 70-ton press. It's old technology. What we do is we take that piece of sheet steel that's been notched and cut to a shape. What we do over here is we're actually going to form in, if you can take a close-up shot of this, form in that ridge. Again, it gives it a scoop to the blade, but it also gives it more stability on the blade. They'll take that piece, put it into the 70-ton press. It'll come down, it only moves 6 inches, 70 tons of pressure. It'll stamp on here when it was manufactured, and then from here it moves over to where we started initially, where we attach that to the hubs. But this is an area where we stage out our fan blades. What this area is over here is we actually bend our own tubing, and again, you've seen that on our fans earlier. You see those shapes where we're supporting the fan and the structure. We actually bend our own tubing here as well. All right, what this is for Airmaster, this is a test cell where we test every fan that goes out of here. We'll place the fan into here, power it up, and then test it. So that's a little test cell for us for testing our product. Behind me, this is where we do crating for sending out, again, those heavy-duty fans. We control the process. We do all of our own packaging. So this is our wood shop where we assemble those crates. We also make an extra effort to support that fan and that fan base by giving it some structure as it travels. Just imagine a large crate with a fan, and inside it you've got a very heavy motor that's attached. We don't want we saw how important it is to keep that fan blade in balance. We don't want it to go out of balance when it ships. So we make extra effort to make sure that we support that fan as it travels to that end user destination or to the distributor's warehouse. Well, this is what we love to see. We've got product that's going to be moving off our floor and going out to our distribution partners out in the field. Sold items ready for usage in the field, and again, made right here in Jackson, Michigan.
Our markets are very diverse. We're shipping to third world countries.
I see the company growing with Dick's leadership, and I see it just almost bursting at the seams if we can do everything that our thoughts are and our leadership has.
I'd say that with the wide variety of products we have right now, Airmaster's got a solid future for going forward.